In a recycling facility, a small object became lodged in the gap between two adjacent conveyor belts. A worker reached into the space to retrieve it when her hand and arm were immediately pulled into the pinch point. She became trapped with her arm wedged deep between the moving belts. A co-worker had to physically lift one of them to extract her trapped arm. This incident clearly demonstrates the severe pinch point hazards at conveyor intersections and the fatal consequences of reaching into operating equipment without lockout procedures. The space between converging conveyor belts creates inescapable entanglement zones that crush and pull limbs deeper into machinery. Outside a warehouse, a motorcyclist traveling at moderate speed rode directly into the path of a forklift with its forks elevated. The rider's helmet struck the raised forklift forks with force, catching on the metal tines and being torn from his head. His motorcycle continued forward, losing control and crashing. This incident clearly demonstrates the critical dangers of inadequate traffic separation between vehicles in active loading zones, and the severe head strike hazards created by elevated forklift equipment. Forklifts with elevated forks create overhead strike hazards invisible to approaching traffic. Operators must lower forks when not actively engaging loads and use spotters in areas with mixed traffic. In a fruit storage facility, a worker attempted to operate a newly delivered large industrial fan. The powerful fan immediately activated and began moving across the floor from the force of its own airflow. The mobile fan struck the worker and pinned her against another operating fan unit in front of her. Fortunately, neither fan's rotating blades made contact with her body, and she escaped without serious injury. This incident clearly demonstrates the dangers of improperly secured equipment and inadequate installation procedures for powerful industrial machinery. New equipment requires installation review, stability verification, and testing before deployment in active work areas. Outside a mattress manufacturing facility, a delivery worker was removing straps from a tall stack of raw foam materials loaded in his cargo truck bed. After successfully releasing one restraint, he proceeded to unlock another when the unsupported foam stack became unstable and slowly tipped over. The massive pile of foam materials cascaded down onto him, knocking him unconscious under the weight. This incident clearly demonstrates the critical importance of proper load securing and sequential restraint removal procedures during unloading operations. Workers should position themselves outside potential fall paths when releasing restraints, never standing where falling materials could strike them. At a pipeline repair site, a worker was sitting directly on a large metal water pipe while cutting through it with an industrial grinder. When he completed the cut, the severed pipe section he was seated on suddenly released stored pressure and violently bounced upward, launching the worker into the air and throwing him down into a rocky drainage ditch below. This incident clearly demonstrates the catastrophic dangers of failing to depressurize systems before cutting and workers positioning themselves on equipment being modified. Workers must never sit on, straddle, or position themselves on pipes being cut, as the separated sections can move unpredictably when stress is released.